Hotel brothers and sisters, Black Power, as always, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors. Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, my sister, my in-laws, my father, my subscribers, my viewers, my donors, my family, and all the brothers and sisters that are fighting for the liberation and salvation of our black nation. For those who didn't know or don't know, today, 54 years ago, Malcolm X was slaughtered. You may call it an assassination, but I call it a public execution in front of his babies, his wife, and his children. A public slaughter and execution. And so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details in terms of, a whole genealogy, but I'm just going to give you the spiel of what took place, who Malcolm was, when, where, how, and why. As we know, Malcolm was a master oratorical speaker. His oratory skills were impeccable. Self-taught, self-educated, learned in the penitentiary. And to this day, he still is symbolic of the brothers that are self-educated in behind enemy lines that we call prisons and jails. He taught himself how to understand and proper diction by rewriting the entire dictionary with no lights, laying on the floor in the penitentiary, using the lights of the tear, for those who know what I'm talking about. And was self-taught, self-educated, denied himself of everything, came home and was a beast. I'm just going to put it and break it down as thorough as I possibly can. He was fucking white women prior to him going in, breaking in houses, robbing. He had a dope habit, he had a coke habit, he had a weed habit, and he had an alcohol habit. Big Red. That's what he was known as. But for real, during that time, he was functioning on a very low vibration. However, that vibration, the high vibration, is always in you. And it was proven through Malcolm. And so, the brother that turned him on and turned him out in terms of introducing him to Elijah Muhammad was so new, like a breath of fresh air to Malcolm. And Malcolm committed himself totally to the Nation of Islam, preferably Elijah Muhammad, who became like a father to him. His teacher, he was like a god to Malcolm. And Malcolm would have done anything that Elijah would have told him to do. As you can see, Muhammad Ali done the same thing. Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, Malcolm, were Jim Brown, all of those before Jim Brown started cooning. They were all thorough. They were never worried about endorsements from any of these crackers, sport companies, no Converse or Everlast or none of that shit. Ali turned all of that down and was committed to the Nation of Islam because Elijah Muhammad stated that the white man was the devil. And that's one thing Elijah Muhammad was never wrong about. Elijah Muhammad Sister Clara Muhammad. They were married early on, and she stayed with him to the end, despite all the things that were said about Elijah Muhammad's sexual appetite. And Dr. King and Malcolm were more alike than different. See, the crackers wanted to pin Martin against Malcolm to get Malcolm to accept that turn the other cheek bullshit that Dr. King had engulfed himself in early on. But as we know, the tables turned around because Martin King became the militant in the end and Malcolm became the moderate. And so they were more alike than different. And the photo op was designed to have them go toe to toe against each other on an intellectual, on their agendas, and all of that. They wanted Malcolm to look like the demon and Martin to look like the angel. And so that's how that went. But it didn't go like that because they understood each other. They knew the games that were being played. Now, let's get to Minister Farrakhan, who was Louis X at the time of Malcolm's reign and Malcolm leading the Nation of Islam. And so with Farrakhan being Louis X at the time, a lot of jealousy was displayed towards Malcolm. Instead of the brothers that were at the national level in the nation allowing Malcolm to lead them, because when Malcolm came, membership skyrocketed and never went to that height ever again. But there's jealousy. There's always jealousy in the home. And just like in every black home, there's someone that is hating on another sibling or parent or relative that is putting in work, and they're not putting in work, or they're afraid to put in work, or they don't have the information or knowledge or research to qualify themselves. So it's more easier to hate, in which that's what Farrakhan did to Malcolm. And that's not all. Same thing happened to Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. If Minister Farrakhan had never put him out of the Nation of Islam, there's a 95% chance that Dr. Khalid Muhammad would still be alive today. You can say what you want, but I know that to be a fact. And so jealousy and envy got Malcolm murdered. Khalid lost his life on the same token. And Elijah and Malcolm, if no one had got in their business, they would have become the greatest thing that the black community has ever seen. More men were reformed. Dope addicts, winos, jailbirds, institutionalized black men were reformed, cleaned up, shined up, redisciplined, restructured under Malcolm's tutelage. And Elijah Muhammad knew that. Now, Malcolm traveled everywhere. That's Castro, who was very fond of Malcolm. Castro, who was a revolutionary himself, had given Malcolm a lot of tips and pointers in which direction to take the black man in the Nation of Islam over in the United States. The thing about Elijah Muhammad was that if Elijah Muhammad had broken down to Malcolm the African tradition of one man having more than one wife and the whole polygamy thing, maybe, just maybe, they would have came to a medium. But by the fact that these were teenage girls, that really turned Malcolm off. Had they been grown women, it would have been a totally different situation. But no one will agree to you, a grown man in his 60s, laying up with 15, 16, 17-year-old girls. No one in their right mind is comfortable with that. Malcolm turned down so many thousands of dollars. He had used furniture in his home. He wore secondhand suits. He did not get involved with the corruption that was taking place in the nation. And Malcolm was about to do some real, serious, deep house cleaning. Had he continued to be the leader of the Nation of Islam. Not the leader, but Elijah Muhammad's national spokesman. And although Malcolm loved the camera, at the same time, he was still a leader. Ali Cassius cleared the time with one of the things that Muhammad Ali said prior years before his ascension was the greatest mistake that he's ever made in his life was to turn his back on Malcolm X. Because a lot of people left Malcolm hanging in spite of the work that Malcolm put in and what he'd done for so many brothers, that they turned his back on him. And it's understandable when someone appears to be going against the leader, the man who taught you, which that wasn't the case. It was made to seem like that. And Elijah Muhammad knew that Malcolm, no one could wear those shoes as far as being the leader and the national spokesman of the Nation of Islam other than Malcolm. Farrakhan could not touch Malcolm. This is Malcolm's house fire bombs with the little children in, and this type of shit. It's hard to respect motherfuckers when they do shit like that. When they throw bombs on little babies and children. It's hard to respect motherfuckers like that. I don't give a fuck what organization it is. When you do shit like that, you are worse than a motherfucking cracker. And so Malcolm, to protect his family, he had to throw down. And as you can see, he was literally by himself. There's nobody else was around him that was armed. He had a couple other brothers around him, but that was it. They had trained everyone to go against Malcolm, the same way that they trained everyone to go against Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Dr. Khalid was not allowed to speak at certain places. Members of the Nation of Islam were not allowed to go see Dr. Khalid speak. And for what? Around this time, this is when this happened. Malcolm lay on the floor with shotgun holes, bullet holes all over his body in front of his babies and his wife. One of the most traumatizing situations known to man is to see your father or your husband being slaughtered and executed like that in your face. Now, the FBI, the New York City Police Department, and the CIA were also in on this assassination, on this execution. They were all in it. J. Edgar Hoover, all these motherfucking cracker, white, fag, savage motherfuckers were all in on this. Now, why do you think Elijah Muhammad wasn't arrested or anything or charged? So Malcolm laid to rest. We have to give Malcolm, we have to give him a lot of credit. We have to give him credit. For he laid down his life for his people. He was not executed for himself. He was executed for trying to uplift the black level of black consciousness in the black man, in the black community. In the Audubon Ballroom. This is one of the coward motherfuckers who was convicted of murdering Malcolm. It was supposedly been 3, but he's handled with care. He's rewarded by the cracker for doing this. Another black on black situation where another black leader is taken down. In front of this queen and her children. How much damage, how heartbreaking and heart-wrenching can that be? But she stood strong, she stood tall. Betty Shabazz stood. She became a national spokesman. And she didn't run to the goddamn devil for help. And these three queens all had slain husbands that were prominent leaders. Dr. King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers. And Betty Shabazz, who was a powerful, powerful queen, powerful sister. Coretta Scott King as well became a conspiracy theorist, like I explained to y'all before. But Betty kept Malcolm's legacy alive. She fought to keep his legacy alive. And this old pussy ass fuck nigga here, I'm not sure if this bitch is still living. Hopefully he's not. Motherfucking faggot here named Manning Marable, who got paid off writing lies about Malcolm, saying Malcolm X was gay. This motherfucker, who looks gay? Malcolm or him? This motherfucking dick-eating, ball-licking motherfucking, dick-in-the-butt-ass, faggot-ass nigga, Manning Marable, who is an old piece of shit, to say that Malcolm was gay. You did just what the crackers, just what the crackers wanted you to do. To discredit Malcolm. And this is what I'm telling you, how house niggas and these rat motherfucking niggas work. These Sambo motherfucking homosexual ass niggas. Wrote 3 books on Malcolm, condemning him. Smashing his fucking manhood. Maybe because You might have asked Malcolm for some dick or something, bitch. He was on Democracy Now! And I didn't see anybody call in and smash his motherfucking ass. I know if he's still living, if I ever run up on him, it will take everything I got for me not to slap all the motherfucking shit out of him. Well, once again, Muhammad Ali said that's the worst thing he done was turn his back on Malcolm. Now, Malcolm's daughters, you all know them. They were ready to kill Farrakhan's ass. And that's what I'm talking about. Soldiers. Wasn't nothing wrong with the way that they responded. And these were queens. And they were ready to kill his motherfucking ass for assisting the goddamn devil into killing their father. For what? Over jealousy. Malcolm had 5 daughters. And see, Ali, a picture says 1,000 words. They were very tight, very tight. It's not that type of not that type of unity among the entertainers and the athletes and political agitators and activists today. It's not that type of unity. You know, these bootlicking niggas are all for themselves. Black people, you niggas don't believe in working together for nothing. Only time you willing to work together is when you don't have shit. But when the cracker sprinkles your motherfucking ass with some trinkets, you forget all about the goddamn struggle. And you turn into a fuck nigga, a Sambo jigaboo ass nigga. Malcolm X loved his daughters. Loved his daughters. Malcolm's grandson, Malcolm Shabazz, murdered. Now, you might not understand what I'm getting ready to say. But he was just like Malcolm, just like his grandfather. He had a large following. He was a strong voice in the black community. And what happened when he went to step to Barack Obama about his policies, Barack Obama got pissed off, took a trip over to Mexico about a week before Malcolm Shabazz went. And so when Malcolm Shabazz goes over there, he's murdered. Now, he's taken several trips over there, but as soon as he makes Barack Obama mad and Barack goes over there, he's murdered. Now, people say he was robbed, shot, thrown off a roof. See, when it's 100,000 goddamn different explanations and reasons and causes of death, you know that it was a hit. And another thing, you didn't see Barack Obama say anything in regards to paying homage to the family of Malcolm Shabazz and send any condolences to the family. Malcolm Shabazz was a strong young brother. He was going to be a force to be reckoned with, and they saw this coming. You know, I always tell y'all, they killed the entire bloodline. Tupac and Fiend, they killed the entire bloodline. And this is how they work. Anyone that comes behind the leader that stands up and fight is targeted for termination. And Malcolm knew this. But once again, when he went to Mecca and came back and said that the white man, he didn't say the white man wasn't the devil. Y'all need to get that. Stop listening to these professors on these old nigger campuses, these bougie niggas say some shit like that to make you force yourself and force your energy to interact and intertwine with this goddamn devil. That's bullshit. Malcolm said that if the cracker was to submit to the will of Allah and practice all of the principles of Islam, then they would be able to live among each other. He didn't say that the motherfucking cracker was not the devil. And so how can you motherfuckers still think that he's not? When he has all the wealth, you got haves and have-nots. But you say the haves, who's taking the have-nots money from their ancestors, and they're parlaying in a million and billion and trillionaires, but you don't have nothing. And you'll say that this motherfucker is not racist. The fuck out of here. You know, brothers and sisters, I'm going to be coming back with a couple of more videos. Primarily, I'm part 2 shortly, very shortly. But I hope you got something out of this. I tried to do it expeditiously, and at the same time, you're able to comprehend and grasp the energy, and at the same time pay homage to one of the greatest black men that ever touched the planet, Brother Malcolm X, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, Brother Oba Wally, who was a great brother. And Khalid Muhammad went through the same thing that Malcolm and Elijah went through. He went through the same thing with Minister Farrakhan. Kicked out of the nation for practicing the same principles. The same exact principles that they were taught. Nothing out of the context of what they were taught. They were kicked out because the cracker said get rid of them. Because they had become a force to be reckoned with. You get rid of them, and then shortly after, they're gone. And I got respect for the Nation of Islam, the organization itself, but far as most of the members know. And I'm one of the Old Testament Nation of Islam from the 60s. That part of the Nation of Islam. This new shit with gays and whites and Scientology and all that, I don't want any parts of that. However, like I always tell you all, I'm willing to work with anybody who knows who their real enemy is. But I'm not going to stand side by side with a motherfucker with a bow tie on. Motherfucker got a bow tie on looking at my dick print. We're not going to work like that. A motherfucker with a bow tie on that's a moonshine drinking hillbilly. We're not going to work like that. We're not going to work like that. I'm pro-black, I'm for my people. My people are first. We have to put ourselves first. It's just like eating at the table. You feed your family first. And if there's anything left over, people outside the family are welcome to it. But to give your plate away that's designed for your family, or allow someone else to take it, and then they want you to respect them and love them after they've taken the food off your table and out of your mouths and your family's mouth? Fuck no. It's not gonna work like that. Hotel, Black Power.